we're gonna get ready to get started. Looks like we're all getting in good conversation because it's picking up here, but it's almost 6, so we'll go ahead and get started. Tonight is a special select board meeting and joint meeting with the Swanton Village trustees. So I am gonna open the town portion of the meeting.
And I will, as our president is not available tonight, I will open our meeting as trustees for this meeting.
Very well. And the first thing we're gonna do is the Pledge of Allegiance. If you please rise and join us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And before we do agenda review, I think it's appropriate to congratulate the MVU softball team for their recent D1 win over the weekend. Great job. Great job. And we have the coach here with us tonight as well, Mr. Villlage. All right, agenda review. We'll start with Kathy.
I'm good.
Nicole.
I think I'm good.
An update on the 4th Street. You can put that under old business just to know what's going on there.
Okay.
And then I assume that you contacted, you have the surveyor to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, he'll start, well, from the day I contacted him, 2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay.
Cody.
Mine's already on there.
Steve. Brian.
I just have one thing of the executive session, very brief. On personnel.
Personnel, executive session. Anything you need to do as far as agenda items?
Yes, sir.
All right, so as part of the joint meeting, the first thing is the expansion of the village designation area.
I'm here to chat with you. May I join you?
Yes, you may. We got a seat right here, and your name, please?
Betsy Lively,
Betsy. Welcome.
BETSY. I have a little presentation, but I can't put it up for you evidently.
Betsy, who do you represent?
I am affiliated with Holy Trinity Episcopal Church,
Okay.
right around the corner from you. And that's why I'm here. So I'm going to try and show this to you, but
And we have the trustees behind us too, so.
yes, so I'll try and share. I'm sorry, there's apparently no way to put it up. So
Not even if you join the Zoom call and then we give you permission to share your screen?
I asked and I was
You can do
told
it that way, yes, but just, I couldn't do it from my computer.
You tell me how you want me to go.
I-
The last time it took me like 45 minutes to
We
get
can
No,
just
we
continue
just-
this way.
So,
If there's something specific someone needs to see, just
Yeah.
ask and we'll
and
let
I'm
you do
happy to
that.
share it. So the village designation is something that's approved by the Agency of Commerce and Community Development. It is not the same as zoning. It doesn't change anything to do with the village boundaries, the town boundaries, anything. It's a special designation, mostly for tax credits from the state of Vermont, because they want to encourage village and downtown center business development. So that's why we're here. That's why we're here tonight, because we would like to ask both of you to approve an expansion to the village designation. Our interest at Holy Trinity Episcopal Church, which is just a couple doors from here, is because of the home of Miss Mary Jane Sheldon, which is at 44 Grand Avenue. It's and I'll put it up, let you see what it looks like. So this is the home, it's just a couple doors down Grand Avenue.
Yep.
It has been empty since Miss Sheldon died in 2019. It's a historic home. She left some money for its rehabilitation, but since 2019, my partners in crime, Linda Wirtz and Sherry Moore from Holy Trinity, have been unable to find a nonprofit who would take on that building and rehabilitate it, because it's in a very bad state of condition. So we now have a partner who would like to rehabilitate it, but to do so we need the tax credits that this village designation expansion would allow. So that's why we're here. But in talking with the town and the village in preparation for this, they suggested expanding the designation by a little bit more than the Sheldon House. And so I'm gonna hold this up again. So here's the current designation goes across the river, includes the old Riviera Hotel, and it stops, it includes the schoolhouse. Oh, good, there's,
I brought a couple.
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And we would expand it, this, what you're being asked to approve would expand it down to Farrar Street and across, including the Veterans Memorial. So if you look at the top end, or the bottom from where you are,
Exactly.
if you look at the
Okay, here's
bottom.
Veterans Park, Flatiron Park.
Yep.
Yep, it would include Veterans Park and go down to Farrar Street.
So the blue is the new,
The blue is the new.
so, okay, so it comes out.
So Betsy, just confirm, these were from a few days ago. Bill sheets for the record, Swanton Village Manager. Just make sure I have the most recent copy that matches, please.
I believe it does,
Okay.
we haven't changed
All right,
anything.
Thank you.
We haven't changed anything, so, so you can probably do this every year, but I think your first application for this designation was in 2017, and the last update, I think, was in 2007, your last update was in 2017. So you don't go back and do this. It's not a very complicated thing to do. You write a letter, you get you notify the Regional Planning Commission and the Regional Investment Development Corporation and get legislative body approval. So it's not complicated, it doesn't cost anything. But most municipalities don't do it very often because it's one more thing on their list of things to do, right? So as long as we were there, the village and town decided to add a few more properties to the Sheldon House, which is really the reason we're starting this process. And it just gives you more opportunities. If you wanted to make improvements to the park, it's possible the village or town could apply for those, et cetera, et cetera. So what are we gonna do with the Sheldon House? So Ms. Sheldon asked that it be given to a nonprofit. And there's been a lot of work on that effort. She actually wanted a nonprofit that her family was involved in. And the Sheldon family in this town goes back to 1879, when her grandfather established Sheldon's Drug Store. They later owned the Stone Block. They are very significant people in northern Vermont. In Morristown, they started the Union Bank, and the Historical Society in Morrisville is named for this family. And they actually, the Historical Society is in a family home. So in Swanton, they were involved in the Masons, the library, the King's Daughter, the Swanton Historical Society, the former Congregational Church, and Holy Trinity Episcopal Church. And Miss Sheldon was a very accomplished lady. She was born in 1936. She went to Brown University. She got her master's degree at UMass. And she had so many interests and never married, and left this home so that it could be for the betterment of Swanton. The cost, though, for the renovation of this home, because it's been sitting empty and didn't have a lot of care, is close to $800,000. And that's why most nonprofits, I think we've approached almost every nonprofit in northern Vermont, has said no. But now the Champlain Housing Trust is willing to take it on, and with funding they can come up with funding that Ms. Sheldon left for the renovation of the home, and with these tax credits, the home could be renovated into a single-family, perpetually affordable home. Champlain Housing Trust would own the land, and the house could be sold but remain perpetually affordable. So, and they intend to restore it within their means, budget means, keep the facade, keep the historical elements, have it still be the grand lady that it is on Grand Avenue. So that's why we're here. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Can you define perpetually affordable?
So the way that I understand it works, I don't work for Champlain Housing Trust, because they will own the land, the home would be sold within the constraints of what's considered affordable housing by the federal government and, Champlain Housing Trust. And then an owner would buy it, they would have to qualify, and they could accrue some equity and grow their investment, but not at market rates. So that if, say, I bought it and it was $200,000, let's say, it's quite a large, nice home for $200,000, and I intended to sell it 10 years later, the market for that home might be $800,000, but perhaps I would only be able to sell it for $250,000. Under the way it's set up now, that homeowner could, I think, accrue 25% of the equity gain.
That's pretty standard.
So that's pretty, it's better, it's a great opportunity for a family. It's a way to keep this as a home that's maintained. You'd have Champlain Housing Trust looking out for its interests.
Do you, first of all, I think it's a great project.
Thank
It's
you.
a grand old home. What kind of tax revenue are we getting from that property now, and would it change in the future? Can anybody here?
I don't have that data.
I was the treasurer of Holy Trinity, and I think we pay maybe $5,000 in taxes a year. The ground would be owned by a nonprofit, so I think it would not be assessable because it would be nonprofit, but the home would be privately owned like a condo. So I think you would still be able to accrue some property taxes.
Probably not all the 5,000.
It might be worth more once it's an $800,000 house on your tax rolls. I don't know how that would work.
I would think it'd be on the value of the house, not that purchase price, so we would get the higher end of it, I would think.
I don't know how that would work.
Adam's got a question.
Yeah, that was my question, thank you, Steve, it was, with Champlain Housing owning the property, the house,
They only own the land.
they only own the land, are they gonna pay property taxes on the land?
No,
I don't,
Why?
because they're a nonprofit, they don't pay out anything.
So we lose the property taxes on the land.
On the land, yes.
but I would think you make out
$5,000.
because right now it's probably not worth anything. It has no running water, it has no bathroom, no kitchen, it's structurally unsound. So I would think your assessment would go up, but you have to talk to your assessor about that.
Oh, I think we will.
Yeah.
Help me here on the village designation. Is that the proper name of this? It's actually the village designation or the historic or the?
It's
what?
a historic village center and downtown designation. It's under, I've got a link in here, Community Development Designation Programs, Village Centers.
And there's no impact to the people inside it, no restrictions on what they do with their property?
Because of the village designation?
Right.
It's not zoning.
I realize it's not zoning.
No, so you've already designated a huge
Correct.
portion of,
I think you're thinking of historic preservation district.
I don't have any definition other than here it says
Right.
expansion of the village
Here's
designation area.
the definition from the state website. So unfortunately, I couldn't show you this.
And so my only question is whether it had any other restrictions related to it, and it doesn't sound like it, so.
I'm not aware of any. It appears to be a state program where the state wants to reinvigorate downtown centers and village centers. So they created this program, but they want to designate them. And it is not supposed to be a mirror image of your entire downtown. You're supposed to apply for specific areas. So there's a reason you've cut out part of the town, and there's a reason we're only asking to add a little bit.
Okay, I'm fine with it, I just.
I think,
Some question.
I think expanding the village designation is good. Next steps after, maybe more discussion. But I think expanding the designation is a good thing.
And my understanding, Brian, is the town has to approve this,
The town has to.
even though
and
it's the village
Correct.
designated
Yeah.
area.
Correct.
Both
So-
of you, because, I think both of you have to approve. Because.
Legally, legally, that may not be true, but in 2007, both governance boards did jointly approve. Since we're all here on the record, that would seem to make the most sense.
And in 2017, you separately sent letters for the amendment. So so our timing is very tight, so we are trying to get an amendment in for July 1 to the state agency that governs that, so that we can apply by August 1 for the tax credits to make this deal work. Let me just say to your questions about the tax value, this is really, after 5 years of looking for a partner, if this deal doesn't work, we don't know what to do. And so you could end up with an empty lot or a continually deteriorating building. I don't want to be alarmist, but we've worked, these ladies have worked pretty long and hard.
Yeah, because of the conditions of the guardian's deed, the property can't be sold or torn down.
Can you state your name, please?
Sherry Moore, it has to be given to a nonprofit.
From the village, any other questions, village perspective?
No.
From the town here, anybody got any questions?
So we're not voting on the project right now?
No, you're voting on
Just-
expanding.
There's a lot of work to be done on that.
Yes, there is, a great deal.
We're
You're
we're just
voting to
approving to
expand-
increase the district.
And which is a good thing,
Yeah.
which is a good thing.
It's not a vote on what you think about affordable housing, Champlain Housing Trust, or this home.
On the
Sorry.
project, on the project.
No.
Just for,
So oh, go ahead.
just for informational, right now, the property is assessed for 89,900. 39,900 is the house and $50,000 is the land.
$89,000?
89,900.
So you put a fair amount of money in it, and you sell the house itself, then you're gonna get,
Yeah.
I would think, a pretty good increase in your tax
Should be-
revenues.
you couldn't have been paying no $5,000 a year.
Not on
It's my
that.
recollection.
No, it was about 24, I mean, to the town, it was 1549.25, and based on last year's tax rate, your bill to the village was about $893.
Well, we should end up with more money, because that house would be worth probably on its own $250,000, but the owner of that house is gonna have to pay the taxes, right?
From the town select board perspective, I'd entertain a motion to increase it, using this, the blue dotted lines. Okay, motion by Steve, second by Cody. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, so moved. So you got town approval and
Thank you.
Mr. President? We will move to, I'll make the motion that we approve the change in the village designation.
Okay.
To include the added properties.
I second.
Okay. Motion first and second. Any further discussion?
Sure.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion carried.
Thank you very much.
all right.
We'll keep you posted.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing the improvements
I
there.
have one question.
Yes.
Where does,
Yes.
do we have to do a letter and send this letter, or where do we send it?
So I'll talk with my friends in government, and then it goes as part of the application, which needs to be submitted on July 1. So we do need you to give us that by July 1, so we can do that. But the town, or the town, I think, is actually the applicant.
It is.
I'm just doing the work on behalf of the town because we have an interest.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Good luck.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next item of business is the Swanton block party, and I'm not sure if you have the lead on this, or
do.
Nicole, or who, but
I do have a lead, but do you just want to update?
I think so.
Okay, so, we do have the bounce house was approved by Seth. So we have the bounce house, and we have the band, we have the banners coming, and we purchased those through Matt Walker, so I will have him submit to Kathy,
Yep, that's right.
for payment. And those should be about $280, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but That's what it should be. And then the downtown bucks, what we're going to do with that is the first 100 people who meet me at the chamber, we'll get them, and they can use them in the downtown businesses. We've got most of the businesses, they're on board to do it, they're just not sure how they're gonna work it with their books, but they said that they'll figure that out after, so, anyways, everything seems to be going, and, Mr. Earl, I'm not sure if the band wants, to use the equipment trailer yet, but they're supposed to get back to me.
All right,
So I will let you know as soon as I know, and so if there's any questions, I'm open to answer.
Still the 26th?
Still 26.
Okay.
Still 5 to 8.
Very good.
And PWD is gonna, Dean and his boys are gonna block off the square, leaving outlets for tractor trailers to get around if they miss all of the signs and end up in the downtown area. There's still exit routes available, so.
If Smuggler's Notch is any indication, we will probably have that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Promote Swanton program. Earl and Nicole were the leads on this.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna let you folks handle this part.
Well, we did have a meeting, Nicole, myself, Adam, and Darcy tonight. Certainly is, I think there's some recognition by everybody that we need to promote ourselves more. Especially with the LVRT coming. And I know Nicole brought some stuff in here tonight that, I don't know how much we want to get into details right now, but there's not a lot about Swanton in these publications that are promoting biking and outdoor activities.
I'm not sure if anybody's ever seen Discover Vermont. or Northwestern Vermont. This is put out by the same media group that does the St. Albans Messenger. There's very little promotion of Swanton. I know Darcy's been in contact with the business owners about putting in a larger ad. It might be something for us to consider also promoting the recreational assets or other assets here in Swanton as a group. Other things that are being put out by the state of Vermont and or other different areas within Vermont do a really great job at highlighting not just their businesses but their community programs and guides. Darcy's been working very hard on a proposal that she's not quite yet ready to share, but it's Swanton is open for business, just to let people, all throughout the state or the region know that we're here and we're ready to continue to grow. And then some of the things that other communities are doing, and I only have one copy, but I will pass this around, is kind of like just an amenities guide. And I think this is something, I've had a youth intern working on what it looks like at a youthful eye, but I think if there was more, they only come part-time and on a very per diem basis, but I think if it was something collectively done between the town and the village to highlight all of our amenities here in the community and promote them more out, not only to the folks that live here, but to people within our region or people that may be visiting. It could help support our downtown businesses. Bethel has put together this really great operator's manual, and this could be a great piece for, you can find this online, but I'll just hand this down to you guys. This could be a great idea for us to, in addition to our town report, something that could be continually upkept on our website or could be in a printed form, just to let people know exactly what's going on here. There's still so many wonderful and amazing things that are happening that folks aren't aware that are happening. There's a lot of great services, community stakeholders, recreational assets, and quite frankly, there's a lot of folks in the town and village that still don't know who to go and where. Something like this could really help clarify that. Also, as somebody looking to move into our community, it would be a great resource for them to have as well. So not only would we be promoting ourselves, we would be promoting all of our all of our assets and all of the things that we have, as well as like a printed annual calendar. There's a lot of annual events happening, you know, if something like that were mailed out with our tax bills or with our utility bills, that people could hang on their fridge to say, oh, well, I know in July I should be expecting a car show, or I know that from December to February, weather permitting, there's going to be an ice skating rink at Swanton Rec. I think it would help us to continue to promote all of the great work that's happening here, and bring more people into our community to share that with.
One of the things that I found out, there's a lot of different groups working here in Swanton, doing a lot of these things that we're talking about, or trying. We need to put more of a priority in this area, and I believe that, you know, it should be something that's done jointly by the select board and the trustees. We need to probably be involved, not to take the place, and everybody's gonna keep doing the same work, but maybe with a trustee and a select board member on a committee that had representatives from these groups, we could coordinate things better and probably move things forward faster. It's not to change things or change what's going on, because there's a lot of good work going on, but it's only to give it more support from the elected officials, because this is very important for Swanton. There's an opportunity here, but if we don't take advantage of it, it's going to pass us by. No, I don't have any doubt about that, because I've seen what other communities are doing to promote themselves. And it doesn't take, we're not talking millions of dollars here. We're talking about doing the small little things that get us started, and then maybe who knows what's going to happen in the future.
But on that same note, there are grant funds available that could help us build capacity to make sure that we're doing a consistent job of this, you know, starting now and moving forward.
Susie.
So I know that the drop dead date for the northwest guy from Overwork was today. So obviously we've missed that window. What if we, as two boards, put together a brochure of this is what we have to offer in downtown Swanton that can feed into that open for business when she's ready for it, but it's something that we can have, people can hold in their hands, we can put it at the chamber, he can hand it out to people when they come in, then what's there to do around here? And, you know, it's something that we can work on together and fund together.
Yes, definitely, that's what we need to do because of the rail trail. We need to promote ourselves. And it, you know, you have downtown, but we have other assets here.
We do, absolutely.
You have the refuge, we have the Amaki Heritage.
Right.
All these, that's why we need to bring all the players together to put something together and get it out there. And when I'm saying out there, I mean, you know, we're gonna put it in St. John's.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, absolutely,
This is what we need to do.
Cambridge.
Right.
All the way down the line.
And we can use that same thing for the chamber and any other places we promote it. It'll be designed, you know, not just for the rail trail, but for everything.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Including schools.
Yes.
So, I don't know if you guys have seen the St. Albans thing that they have. So you just type in like downtown St. Albans or downtown or St. Albans town, and it gives you a quick click, and you can locate all the dining, exploring options, services, shopping options, and stay and support. And you just click on each one of these things, tells you if they're accessible, not accessible, and then it links everything together quickly for anybody who comes into town, like on their bike or the LVRT or wanna park. So they're gonna have all little communities that are linked together on the LVRT. You're gonna be able to ride the bike to that town, explore it, see what's there, and they're all kind of getting connected like this. It's pretty user-friendly.
That's not St. Albans town's website. This is a special app, or is it the town's website?
Well, I don't know exactly. They're doing it through the businesses and services, and it just says downtown St. Albans, and it has one for the town as well. and it breaks it down to these little click-on things, and when you click on it, you can see every business located. And it actually gives you a tally of what they have for services, and it's really pretty user-friendly for anybody who rolls in to the community and wants to stop here and see what's going on. Link you to the refuge, link you to all the rail trail, link you to whatever. Versus a printed publication, which can be hard to get a hold of for people who roll into town, right? And unless you pick up the brochure or find it somewhere immediately, most people are just going to this stuff now to explore and find things locally. It just pops up if you gotta find a service station, it pops up if you gotta find a restaurant. If you're in a town, you just say, where's the nearest restaurant, and link it to it, and you can see how all that's connected. And it works really easy for St. Albans. I think we could easily do the same thing, figure out what media they're using. And
Yeah,
go from
because
there.
one of the things that, would be, that we need to work on too, is maybe how can we make our website do more for us?
Yeah.
It's a major upgrade what we did, the new one we have, but we gotta do more, because other communities are.
And that's linked
Yeah,
to
and
their
that could- that would be
website
a
as
link
well.
to it,
you know,
I
just-
think. Yeah.
I think what's proposed, there's several things. I think if the village is interested, we certainly are, is to continue and have this group, the Promote Swanton group right now, take a look at doing something on the web and some type of brochure.
Yeah.
That Bethel Operator's Manual is something great for someone moving into the area, that if someone took that on, which would take some of the stuff that's on the website.
And I have a
But
lot
if
of that
someone
already
rolls in
in
here,
template already.
as you get that to the new people moving in, and it's a great thing when they got a minute, they sit there and say, oh, I didn't know that the refuge was just down the road here, so let's go there this Sunday, but.
And it could be something consolidated so simply into a nice piece of, that's just a printed version, but a nice little pamphlet that a new person coming to town would keep. I certainly kept this. I went to the Upper Valley probably 2 years ago, and I still have this, because it's pretty nice.
Thoughts, Adam?
Thoughts? I like where this is going. I'm concerned that, and I brought this up, Earl, when the four of us met, I don't want it to be the same 8 people or the same 4 people that are on every other committee in town and village doing this. I've given this some thought, and what Dave brought up tonight, I think is a huge, it's a game changer, honestly. It's an app that everybody's gonna get. It probably put the chamber out of business, but you know what? If it brings people into town and village, I don't care,
Well, I think the
But I
chamber's
think
part
we-
of that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't see it putting it out of business, I see it complementing it.
No,
Right, I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I honestly think, and I've given this some thought over the last couple of weeks, is we really need to look at probably hiring a marketing person for the town and village. Someone, it doesn't matter who's paying for it, don't care, but we need to hire a marketing person for the town and village, for Swanton, who can do this, who can take everything that we've got, can go to all our organizations, go to all our businesses, be able to create the Bethel Operators Manual or the St. Albans app, and it's going to be money well spent.
Yeah, they could
It's
also,
going to be money well spent, because I'm just afraid, if you put me on another committee, I'm just probably going to say no.
Well, and I don't think what we're trying to say, Adam, and I may be wrong, but I see this as maybe you, Susie, Nicole, and Earl sit down and look at a few of these different things and say, these are the ones we want to move ahead with right now. And as a joint body, we say, okay, we're going to take it step by step, but let's say that's website is something we want to do, and then we find out how much it's going to be, and then we have someone put that together. I don't think it's the 4 folks that might be on this little group to kick this off, but it's just ones from each body here to just take a look and say, here's what we think is where we should start, and then meet again later after we've done something and say, here or a couple things we need to start, and some of these little brochures wouldn't cost tons to put together. We don't know what this, we might find somebody already has a program that you just get and just plug all this stuff in. That isn't very much money, I don't know.
Yep.
In today's world, most of that stuff is something you find that someone's already created.
Yeah.
You just do your piece of it and you've got it. So I don't know, but I think that's what I'm trying to think is it's the village and the town saying, yeah, but you guys don't have to do all the work. But you're the ones who at least look at it and say, here's, and
Make
come
a
back and say, here's the recommendation.
I mean, every business has got kind of its own website. So all it is like a directory linker.
Yeah.
So everybody creates their own content. It's just a universal one spot that gets you to wherever you think you need to go, so to speak, in one spot.
Yeah.
But I do think we would be very short-sighted if we didn't look into the future and consider a marketing person for Swanton. We'd be very short-sighted.
Talking just a consultant we go to,
Nope,
full-time marketing?
full-time marketing. Even if it's part-time marketing to begin with and you go full-time,
Yeah.
you know? I think we're missing the boat if we don't at least consider it.
That's what I would say, the four of you take a look at and say, here's what it's gonna be, and this is some of the options, you know?
I agree with you, Adam, because that's probably gonna be the only way we're gonna get this done. You know, volunteers, so to speak, as we are.
Yep.
You know, and everything else we have to do, you know, we just don't seem to be able to do it all by ourselves, but, so that would be a good starting point. I like the idea of the four, but I still have other people that we need to have involved in this. If we're gonna promote Swanton, one thing, we have a historical society, we have that railroad depot, I'm just throwing this out as an example. Something would need to be done there if we wanna put that in our brochure, and we can't expect people to be there every day, but you could have some kind of, something you can read down there, illustrated sort of history, put up something outside, and I know people are saying, oh, the vandals are gonna break it, but you gotta do it, you can't go in there with an attitude, well, everything's so negative, you gotta look at it from a positive side. That's just a small example, that's why I'd like to have some of them players at the table at some point in time. But I agree, we should get together and take a look at, you know, what it would cost and what's available out there, at least to start with, and that would probably move a lot of these other things forward a lot faster.
And I'm not trying to exclude any of the folks, because then if you do find out you get a marketing director, they set up the meetings where you bring in the other groups,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you guys just help facilitate all that, saying, have you thought about this group and that group? And that's all
Yeah.
And then what you have is you have a member from the select board there, you have a member from the trustees there, then we go back to our boards, and there's something, you know, when we're reporting what's going on, they can ask us what's going on, and, you know, we're gonna have to give them some kind of answers. It's gonna keep things moving.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that we get involved in this, you know, and work with everybody to promote Swanton. I believe it can be done.
Agreed.
And I'm willing to make a motion that, I think it covers pretty much everything we talked about here, but it just makes it official that the boards are committed to this effort. And if you want me to, I'll make it right now, can I make it right now?
Sure.
Okay. See, I move that the Swanton Village trustees plus the Swanton Select Board, what can you read my own right now?
I would just say that your motion should, and don't mean to interrupt,
Right.
should just be the select board, and they can make their own similar
Yeah.
motion, so they get it recorded.
Okay,
that
we can
way.
leave it like that. But, you know, to appoint a member from each board, to work with the various Swanton groups, I'm still leaving that in there because we will be working with them, to promote Swanton. In addition, we will support this promotion and use what in-house resources we have. You know, and that's already being done, but it's just not ever been officially saying, like, you have the flowers around here, or the other day we had to go down and do some work around the library, and you see they planted all them flowers and those kind of things we're doing anyway, but it just makes it official that and if we need to do grants, we have you know, and Bill and Heidi, we've got people that that we're gonna, you know, commit to that we're gonna be willing to do that to promote Swanton.
Do I hear a second?
A second.
I think the motion that you said was for the
Swanton Select Board.
Swanton Select Board to commit to this promote Swanton
Yeah.
idea and
Yeah.
to appoint one person
Yep.
to be part of, to work with the village
Yep.
on this promote Swanton concept.
At least
Indeed.
one.
Yeah.
At least one. Because both boards really need to be involved, I really believe that, because if we can't do this together, how can we expect people in Swanton to, you know, get excited about their community? And I gotta tell you, this has got more to do with making people feel better about Swanton than it does about driving people here, but I mean, we're hoping that both are gonna happen at the same time.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved on the select board side.
All right. I'll make the motion that the village trustees commit to the Promote Swanton program and commit to one trustee being on the board and to moving this forward to promote Swanton.
I'll second it. Okay, we have a first and second motion. Any further discussion?
I have just one point, it has to only be one of us, because otherwise
Yes.
we have a quorum, so
Yes.
it can
It
only
can only
be one of us.
trustee.
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay, first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carried.
Okay, very good. I think,
Before we move on, when will you wanna wait until we?
I wanna go on my supper first.
I should have had time to get it in. Do we wanna wait until we each have our next meeting to appoint somebody, or do you wanna do it now?
You do it.
And then,
Make your appointment.
I'll appoint you.
I have been appointed.
Who appointed?
You did.
Oh, I guess that everyone's looking at me now.
The motion carried.
All the board did that.
Yes.
Errol, you interested?
yes, I would, at least,
Hold on one
yeah.
second, who seconded that?
You did.
You're making,
So I'll,
motion to appoint Earl and Nicole.
motion's been made to appoint Earl and Nicole. Is there a second? Motion's been seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor state aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved. From a village perspective,
I'll make the motion that we close our portion of the joint legislative meeting for Monday, July 6th.
wait a minute.
I think you had a question.
Oh,
This you did have other necessary business in here. And this is someone who approached me, and it has to do with the Blitz Closer and BB Road. And this guy's in the trucking business, local trucker. You know, he realized it has to be done, nothing like that. He has a concern, and I think we had some discussions the other night, but with so much going on, I don't recall all of it, about if a truck is leaving Swanton, coming off the interstate and wants to go back around to get back on 78, they're gonna have to turn off Route 7 on the BB Road. And he had a concern that those 53-foot trailers wouldn't really be able to make that swing unless the stop got moved back. And I think there was some discussion the other night about that.
which stop?
Well, it'd have to be the one that would be turning right onto 78.
78.
I mean, 7, excuse me, have to be on that side.
the BB Road,
Yeah.
stop sign on BB Road.
Yeah. To stop the car,
To give them enough room.
Five?
So the discussion was that Dean said they were adding 2 stop signs on Route 7 to stop traffic in front of BB Road, is what Dean said. He didn't say that they were moving the stop sign, that was, first of all, it's your stop sign, we can't move your
Yeah.
stop sign. But we were putting temporary stop signs on Route 7 to stop traffic for people coming off the BB Road.
So it'd be
Is
a
what I
three-way.
recall him saying, yeah, it becomes a 3-way stop sign, Route 7 and the BB Road during
Well, that's
The
fine, as
construction.
long as that truck has room enough to swing in there.
Yeah,
It'll be just
I would like,
sitting
I would like,
here.
I would like that, the concern's been made, and you have someone who's coordinating all the signs and everything, please take that back to them. Because we're not gonna solve that here, Harold?
Yes, could I add something to that, Chairman?
Yeah.
From TAC, we've had big concerns over that since April.
He's got enough.
First of all, coming off of Robin Hood Drive, that crossbar that wants to turn onto Robin Hood Drive, a tractor trailer cannot make it. I drive truck every day, and even a 10-wheeler has trouble getting off in there. You get a truck that wants to come in onto Robin Hood Drive, he's gonna have trouble with cars parked right there on Robin Hood Drive. He's also gonna have trouble trying to get back on to get onto the interstate because he cannot make that swing with a 53-foot trailer. You can't make it with your plow truck. I don't.
We're talking Robin Hood now?
Yes, but the stoplights are. That stop bar is in the wrong place for that to ever happen because there's no room for forgiveness there. You're at Curbins. There's no room for forgiveness. The trucks coming off in Beebe Road was another one of our big concerns, trying to turn this way. All them trucks, when they come off in Beebe Road, should be made to go to St. Albans. Not trying to make that swing. Because that zipper effect that you're gonna have out there doesn't work. Every day on Lower Newton Road, I'm on Lower Newton Road at least 3 times a day with a truck. That zipper effect does not work. The first car stops, the next one's supposed to go, right? But they don't. You're gonna have one wreck after another, and TAC is very concerned on the way that that's designed out there.
Okay, thank you. I suggest someone get a local trucker with a 53-foot trailer and go drive this thing.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
There's enough truckers around here and stuff, and we ought to do that because I can't answer it here without me seeing the whole geometry of it and laying it out. I can't tell you, but I certainly know you've got the experience doing it, Harold.
Absolutely.
But I suggest that someone get a tractor trailer and drive this thing and see what the problem
As it is now, we don't have a large volume coming off in Robin Hood Drive. But once that bridge is closed, the volume's gonna increase. So the best thing that the town and village could do is to make sure all tractor trailers that's coming out of New York and wants to get back on the interstate, unless they're going to Canada, need to go to St. Albans, where you can make a nice swing. You have a lot wider room out there on Route 7 than to try to turn to go back to Swanton, and then you got them on Robin Hood Drive. You're gonna get some that's gonna miss Robin Hood Drive, and they're gonna be down here at the park.
Oh, yeah?
And it's gonna be a mess.
I think the GPS is gonna make them turn right and go to St. Albans anyway, through the line guys.
Yeah, I wouldn't rely on the GPS, I wouldn't rely on the signage, it's gonna happen. I would just, can we agree that we have someone drive that? I mean, the way I look at it is the whole signage, isn't that state approving the signage for this,
The state of Vermont has approved every part of this detour to include turning radiuses, but we will certainly be happy to test out a 53.
and if there's something we can help with that, Bill, I'm not trying to put it on you folks.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it, I understand.
And I can tell you who the individual was, because he is a truck driver, he does have his own truck, it's Roger Ledoux.
I might know him.
Yeah, he actually lives on the
Brother-in-law.
South River.
I know him well.
Okay, have he talked to you about it?
No.
Came on record.
All right,
Maybe he ain't seen you for a long time.
Just a couple days.
Eugene.
Just a comment, I agree wholeheartedly with what he's saying about the intersection of Robin Hood Drive, because I backed up there to let trucks come on, and vice versa. Trying to get on when the truck is coming on, you can't.
So maybe,
It's even difficult
You
with
have,
school
you have
bus.
to, you have to be nice and kind,
That's it.
and people don't seem to be anymore.
Yeah, well, that's all good till everyone's backed up and waiting and wait for what they're going to, okay.
They salute you.
well, they might have to put some signage up to try to direct them trucks to St. Albans.
All right, I think the village has got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we can,
Ted Pelkey might know. just go talk to Ted in the morning and find out.
It just was brought up to me, and, you know, because it's,
Good idea,
you know,
really true,
Yeah.
good question.
yeah.
All right, Adam, I was gonna ask if there's any other necessary business, but that sparked the whole thing anyway, so we're good. That's good discussion. Anything else then? The village is good?
We're good.
Thank you.
Good. Again, I'll move that we close the joint legislative meeting portion for the village at 6:50.
I'll second that too.
We have first and second to close the village trustee part of the meeting. Any more further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carried.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go Celtics.
I know.
That's where I'm going.
They beat the Yankees 2 out of 3, and they slammed them the last 2 games.
Thank you. Good night.
Did everybody get it?
On our select board meeting, item number 1 is the minutes. Regular select board meeting of June 4th, 2024. Do I hear a motion?
I move.
Motion made by Earl, second by Cody, to approve the select board meeting of June 4th, 2024. The only thing I have is I did give Christina, just when I came in tonight, 3 or 4 small corrections. Nothing should prevent the approval of this, but just to let you know.
I also see some just misspelling of a name in here. But other than that, Darcy, from Darcy I.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved. Public comment for something that is not on the agenda tonight? Law enforcement, Swanton Animal Control.
We don't have a report. Jim has gone on a biking trip, and he didn't get a report in before he left, but Cody is our stand-in animal control.
Yeah, we had one incident. It looks like it was on the 13th. It was
Jim's first day gone.
yeah, his first day gone. Thanks. Looks like someone got bit by a dog. I got the statement from the person who did get bit, and I got the waiting for the statement from the person who owns the dog. They did seek medical attention for a puncture wound, but the dog did have their rabies vaccination. They were not licensed, but did they come in? They haven't come in yet? Okay, they said they were coming in this week to, today, hopefully, they're gonna try to make it today to license them, but they were previously licensed 3 before.
Yeah, they were.
Yep, so they just forgot. It looks like the person who got bit wasn't overly concerned about it and didn't want to pursue anything because they did go on their property, and the dogs, there was clear warning signs, says beware of dogs, and they did have an underground fence. So the person just went on their property, and the dogs were kind of doing their job, so to speak. I'm just waiting for that statement to come in, and after that, I don't know, I'd wait for them to license their dogs.
Okay,
That's it.
appreciate that. Thanks for the report. Expenditures. All the orders look like they are from 5/22/2024 to June 17th, 2024 or 2025.
Oh, geez, 24.
All right. So we have those dates. Unless people want to repeat the dates for all these, I would just make the motion for the general orders for the dates specified. Just might help move things along a bit. So the first one, general orders. Do I hear a motion?
I'll second.
Motion's been made, seconded to approve the general orders for the dates specified. Any further discussion?
For the amount of $42,216.18.
Yes. Thank you, Earl. Any questions or anything? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Highway orders in the amount of $51,409.86.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved. Highway and general payrolls in the order 51,409. That's, this isn't,
Highway general is 35.
no, I understand, but I'm just reading on the sheet I got. Looks like the amount's 35,821.56. Is that correct, Kathy?
On which one are you on?
Payroll. I'm looking at the cover sheet,
yeah.
which has the amount of the actual highway
It's
orders.
the 35,821.56.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion for the highway and general payrolls for the date specified for $35,821.56. Moved by Steve, seconded by Cody. Only question I have, Kathy, why do we show net amount for, looks like part-time workers and ELC amount? The columns are
Direct
two different.
deposit and checks. Some have direct deposit, some with checks.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Library payroll.
It's $9,026.52.
Now, this has different dates.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's the same date, says.
It's the same dates as we specified earlier?
June 22nd, no, May 27th to June 17th.
Okay. So I'm gonna read that one. The library payroll for May 22nd, 2024 to June 17th, 2024 in the amount of $9,006.52.
62 cents.
$26.
$9,006 and it says 62 there and it says 52 here.
Supposed to be 26, so, right?
No, 62. It's
No.
correct on the warrant, it's not correct on the cover page.
Oh, I see,
It's
okay.
9,00662.
Yes.
So again, to be clear, $9,006.62, and I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Nicole and seconded by Cody. All those in favor state aye. Aye. Opposed, so moved. Special orders, do we need to approve zero?
No,
Okay. Library orders, we don't need to approve that one for zero either.
nope.
I think we got there. That was a little rough.
It was supposed to be streamlined.
That doesn't normally happen like that, but
It's a Monday.
maybe it's the heat, I don't know, or the anticipated heat for the next few days. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Highway Department. Just a couple things on the report. Paving has been completed as of last Friday, so we should be getting the final bill for that shortly. Seems like overall they did a very good job, got on it very quick. At the last meeting, we talked about trying to get the second bid for striping. Finally received that second bid for striping last Thursday. It was 24 cents per foot versus the 22, so we're gonna go with the 22 that you approved. So we did get that piece, we did get the competition. Future work right now, got the mowing, a little bit of culvert work, some tree removal work, kind of the typical routine stuff for the summer time frame. The next item,
Oh, hold on a minute.
well,
When they stripe BB Road or South Main Street, South River, they put the two lines, they're not gonna put no white lines on the outside,
they are.
They are.
The village agreed to pay for the fog lines on South River Road.
Okay, all right,
It's a class 2 highway, the state actually does the double yellow.
right. But
But
they won't do the other one.
the white ones, the village said they would pay for it, it's a couple grand as part of this whole project, so yes.
Okay.
Just haven't got to it yet, but,
Yep, that's fine, it just,
all right, next item. This is Maple Grove Estates Road Takeover Request. Mr. Al Norris is the one who contacted me, he's here tonight with other folks that live in the Maple Grove Estates. And they have a presentation they want to make to us, so I told them we would get them on the agenda and let them state their case.
Okay, well, so you already know who I am. It's a brief presentation. It should take, I don't know, approximately 5 minutes. So this is the package that I can hand to everyone. This is a very thick package. There's a lot of information in here. But we're only going to be talking about the first 5 pages. 3 of them, which are charts, just simple line charts, and the other 2, which are summary pages. Thank you. So the first 5 pages is pretty much the presentation. All of the other material that's in that package is basically all of the numbers and all of the information that we have garnered from the town reports, from they're pretty much worksheets from the town reports, the property report cards, and the select board archive meeting minutes. So if we look at the first chart, this is basically just a snapshot, and this is the grand list, and it's from 2012 to 2023, just a snapshot in time. The only point here is just the grand list continues to climb. Obviously, that's what you want to see for growth. That benefits the town. And of course, that also means that your tax revenue is increasing each year. The second chart is basically taking the highway budget versus the actual. Point here is the highway budget compared to the grand list is relatively flat. There's a couple of bumps in there. I think one of them is paving. It matches up with the following one. And if you look at the next one, that's pretty much road resurfacing portion of that highway budget. And there's the one bump that's there. I'm not sure what the other one was. Didn't look into that. But again, to support our request, it's only in here just to state that it's pretty much been flat. So on the next sheet, we just kind of wanted to make a summary here. So the first leg of Maple Road was taken over by 2006, and that was in April. And we're now requesting that the town take over the second leg. That second leg was requested to be taken over back in September of 2018, but the board stated at that time they couldn't do it for this year. That was the statement. We can't do it for this year. So here we are. We're back again 6 years later. So the total valuation, in looking at Maple Grove, the total valuation of all existing properties up there, as it stands today, is $86,981. That's 1%, so it's 8 million something. So the highway tax in 2022, which we factored out because highways and the police, so we took the percentage, was 0.87%. That's in the worksheets. We factored it out. So that amounts to $16,900 a year for Maple Grove. So if we look at the roads that we're requesting the town to take over, Maple Grove in total is 0.42 miles approximately. The town takes over ownership of 57.53 miles. So we are just 0.7 of that percentage. As it stands, if you look at the amount we pay per year to the highway budget, we are actually contributing 1.5%. So that's more than 2 times what we would be expected to pay based on a portion ratio. There will be 10 more homes which are going to be built in there. And using a $400,000 evaluation for those homes going forward, all of the other homes, the 19, the evaluation on those, if you average it out, was somewhere around 425, 422, 423, somewhere in that vicinity. So we're a little on the low side, but when we did this, we wanted to make sure that the expenditures were pretty much on the high side and the revenue was on the low side. So we didn't want to blow anything up in either direction. So if you look at the 19 homes from inception, average of those homes, because every one of them didn't go in at the same time, the average of those homes was 10.25 years based on their age. The amount collected for those 19 homes to 2022 was approximately $173,000. Now from 2023 to 2036, those 19 homes are going to produce another $219,000. That's a period of 30 years. and we can talk about that afterwards. So from 2023 to 2036, you also have to add the additional homes. We're gonna say, we use that one home would go in per year over that period of 13 years. Actually,
Just before you go any further, so those 3 bullets, that is money collected for the highway?
that is correct.
Okay, I just want to clarify that,
Nope,
because...
just for the highway.
Yep.
It's that amount times the .199 times the years.
Right, yep.
Correct. So if you look at from 2023 to 2036, the 10 additional homes, we anticipated 1 per year. There's actually 2 already in progress out of the 10. That would be about 7.5 years over the 13 years. So that's another 58,357 times the same factor of the highway rate at 2022 and the amount being collected. So for a 30-year period from inception to 2036, the town has collected approximately $451,491. That would be followed after all of the homes are built, to get the actual picture over the 30-year period, once all homes have been completed up there. The total for 30 years is going to be $740,700. That nets out, if you look at it, is $24,690 annually collected on the whole body of homes up there. That's still at the 2022 tax rate. So basically, at this point, at the $24,690, we're paying 3.2 times more than our fair share based on the road percentage, if you want to look at it that way. So, point here is, road is an A76 standard. Yes, does not have a top coat, but the right-of-way exists for the road to be taken over, and the top coat will be applied before takeover. The bids are already out. They have been sent out. They have been returned, and they are willing to do this top coat and move forward with this. That's the developers. So the last sheet, we kind of just wanted to summarize. What can the town do with $740,000? Well, you can buy a brand new highway plow truck, all the bells and whistles. You can get that for $196K. Top coat and overlay, $84,000 a year for the full road. That's twice, doing it every 15 years is $168. Now again, that's probably, certainly not being underinflated, because the town, since takeover, has not overlaid that first leg, and we're going into the 19th year next year. So we're using 15. We're putting the expenditures out there every 15. And it probably will be more like 20 or beyond. I don't know what your rate is to go back to the roads and repave. But anyway, we did it at a 15-year rate, so our expenditures are higher than they probably would be. So if you look at the man hours for plowing, so the whole road, it took me 2.5 minutes at 20 miles an hour to go from one end to the other. Obviously, you've got to get a start from the bottom, so 2.5 minutes. And if you look at 10 minutes, or give it 10 minutes, and 12 times of plowing a year. Now, 12 times, I believe, is a little high. But nevertheless, we use 12. It's been more like the last few years, 5 to 7 times. I know the year before last, I went out and snow blowed my yard 4 times. So, due to whatever you want to call it, the number of times that roads need to be plowed is certainly decreasing. So the other part of this is benefits. So point of benefits, understandably, you've got to pay benefits for someone. So on the previous section, the man-hour labor for the 30 years would total $1,222 for the time that the plow person spent up there. And that 2037 is the average hourly wage of somebody plowing. I don't know what you pay yours. Medical benefits, given $15,000 a year, obviously, we would only be paying the portion for the time they spent with us. 52 weeks, and the $15,000 comes out to $288 basically a week. 60 hours total, 40 hours a week is
1.5 weeks, so the 288 nets being 432 or 433. So if you take the expenses over that 30-year period at the top rate that you're gonna be getting once these homes are completed, we're gonna have put out for money expenditures, $365,655 for 30 years. And that's doing what we detailed above. You don't have to buy a new plow truck. We're just kind of throwing that in there as a you know, it's the worst case scenario. So the total collected minus the total cost noted above, 740 minus the 365, that leaves 375,000. That goes back into the highway budget. And remember, when we're being taxed on this, we're being taxed with the highway budget with all expenditures across that budget. So that puts a 375 back in to the coffers of the highway budget. And our belief is that's certainly more than our fair share.
That's over 30 years?
That's over 30 years.
Thank you.
Yes. And I'm assuming people would probably want to know why I did 30 years or why we did 30 years. And the reason for doing 30 years is you can't kind of calculate when your expenditures against your revenue, when you've got an expenditure that occurs every 15 to 20 years. You've got to kind of equal that out to show what the whole picture is. Otherwise, you don't get a fair picture of what's actually going on. So that concludes our presentation, and we obviously welcome any questions on the board.
Who wants to go first? I got a few, but,
Go ahead.
all right. First of all, pretty thorough presentation, a lot of numbers, a lot of details. One thing I'll say is we don't just plow roads, so, you know, and what your share goes to, it's many more things, but still, very good seeing the numbers here. And one thing I spoke to Al about, from my perspective, in here it states what's up there meets A76 standards, and I've been up and just looked at it. It looks like it's in very good shape. It's had a lot of construction traffic and stuff over it, the homes being built in the back. But I could not sit here and tell everybody on the board I know what the thickness of the base material is, but that's something that could easily be determined. Question for Al, do we know about stormwater permits related to that section of the road? Because we are in a quagmire with the state in another developed area regarding stormwater permits, and that is something we've got to figure out before this would ever take place.
That's probably true, but that, as far as our understanding of that, in terms, that would really be, I mean, I kind of looked at what stormwater permits cost. That is a low-risk stormwater permit.
It's under review.
I'm just saying, it's a low risk. I'm not saying that somebody's going to take a risk. That determines how much you have to pay each year.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about the annual payment. I'm concerned about changes they made to the stormwater rules, which I don't even understand yet. And we had an engineer in here with another area developed, and how it was, they want Swanton and that community to work out how the stormwater permit's gonna go, and they're looking at the amount of the roof area on each home and how that contributes to the stormwater. And again, I don't have a lot of details about it, but something I think we need to look into is the transfer of the stormwater permit, and maybe the time frame when it was done. It may make it a non-issue, I don't know. But I just know we don't want to take on another issue like the one we're dealing with right now in another development.
I was told it's currently being reviewed right now, under review with Bud right now.
Yeah, and that's something we can talk with the state and so on, but I want to bring that up. That is one that could slow things down a little bit. Your name, sir?
Tom Parra.
Tom?
Parra.
Okay, Tom, thank you. One thing, and you can, I think we talked about this too, is you're assessed at the full property value, right? You're not discounted.
Everybody up there is.
Yes, you're not discounted because of the private road. And I've heard that said before, so I want to make sure the board members know they're paying.
Well, that hasn't even occurred yet, to my understanding. That lowering somebody's
No,
has not occurred.
we had this discussion before with another development, and yes, the listers do, there is something there.
No, I understand, but talking with Jim, and I'd want to verify this for you guys too, but talking with Jim, he said up there,
They didn't.
they're not getting reduced taxes for some other reasons, but some places, for the private roads, they reduce the assessment of the property, and my understanding is that's not the case up there.
Well, my understanding after talking with a few people was that was a proposal that was being made, but it hadn't actually happened yet. So I don't know, I'm just going on what I was told.
And we can get that clarification, so the board is.
And that would only be 5% of the land value.
Just the land, right, just the land value. Oh, yes, it's.
And when we're talking that, that's minimal amount of relief.
Right, well, I've heard it used as an argument to say, hey, you're getting a break. Well, it's not much of a break as you're saying, so I just trying to make that.
I think I factored it to be about $34 for me.
Yeah, I just want to make sure everyone's aware of that, so we're all on the same page. And then I want to share with the board, is I have talked with the highway foreman, and Kevin is very comfortable if we were to take that over as far as the plow, and it is just 0.42 miles, all they would do is just drive up and use the other turnaround that was made as part of the development. So, you know, I had that discussion with him. So that's my thoughts, and I'll let board members chime in where they want. See.
How many requests have we had in the last 5 years for a development asking the town to take over the road? Does anybody know?
I have somewhat of an idea. I went through all of the books, the select board meetings from 1999 till current. Prior to the April 2018, I don't believe I saw any of them. There were 3 or 4 after 2018. And there were various reasons the board stated why they could not do that, which prompted us to put this pitch together to make sure those were not the same answers we were given.
When I was on the board, I know we looked at one area specific and it wasn't done to the standard, so we didn't take it over. I made a list of all the different little private roads around and went out and looked at a bunch of them, and most of them just they're not up to a standard, so they'd have to come in and talk to us and bring it up to a standard and before we'd even consider it, I would think. That's just my opinion as the highway guy, but if they're not up to the standard, we're not interested in taking them over.
May I add one thing?
Absolutely.
The point you say 0.42 miles, that's the total road. Half that's already been taken over. So
Okay.
0.2
Yeah,
times-
thanks for that clarification. Yeah, so it's half of that. So again, it's a very short
Additional
distance.
like 3/10 or so.
Right. But
That's
from a
what-
plowing standpoint, it's very little of additional time. We would not plow the existing turnaround. We would just drive right straight through and clean the other one up. So if people wanted to turn around, there's no, because there was even talk at one time, if this got taken over, it's taken out. But I don't, it's there, it's not, if it's not hurting anybody, I would say
It's
leave it,
not.
but for snow removal,
Right.
we would just go right straight through.
Correct, it's just basically a 30-degree radius. But in that circle topic, yes, they just need to go around, because when you get there, one car goes one way, when you come back, you go the other direction. And the fact that, it obviously helps, you can just keep pushing the snow and keep going. If they did need to park some snow somewhere, they can park it in the middle of that circle, if they needed to, if it was heavy.
Right.
In addition to that, it slows the traffic down there. So, it's a benefit more than a harm.
Yeah, the residents in the first section actually rather like the circle because it made it so people don't go flying through. That was one request. So I have a daughter that takes the bus every day, and the bus will not go up our section because it hasn't been taken over. For 8 years we've been dealing with this. So we've been struggling getting out of work early and everything. With the promise that this road is going to be taken over, and I'll say that it was brought up on the agenda in 2018. Here we are 6 years later, it's still not done. Bud was hesitant to put the top coat of pavement on without commitment from you guys. But you guys didn't want the road taken over without the top coat of pavement done. So it's kind of a catch-22. So everybody's waiting for everybody. Well, somebody needs to make a move. So I'd say, I'm suggesting you guys make a motion to do it contingent on all the thickness being tested, making sure that stormwater is set up, and that the Bud actually commits to doing it and follows through with the top coat.
There are also gonna be some legal fees involved for the town to take this over. We're gonna
That'd be for Bud.
That would be for Bud.
That would be for,
He'd have to agree to cover those costs.
What's the legal fees?
I'll have to, make sure all the easements for the road and all, because they're there.
there's no easements, there's actually.
He owns it, yeah, he owns it.
Yeah,
It's
he
his
owns
land.
all of it. We
Yeah, it's
have-
the transfer.
there's
Yeah,
actually
there's
right
gonna
of
be,
way.
we'll have to double check, cause, you know, I know you guys don't own the road, he does,
We don't
but,
own the road,
but-
it's actually to the right of way.
Right.
Or not right of way, it's.
Yeah,
to
so there would be
the-
some legal, just to,
What do you call it, it's yeah, we don't own 30 feet from the center of the road. So
Yeah,
it's-
I understand, they would transfer it to the
right.
town, understand.
There's gonna be some legal fees
That happens
involved.
with every
Yeah.
takeover.
And then they'll have to check the road, to do the core or whatever, to make sure the thickness and the gravel is there to the 876 standard. There'll be some costs involved there too, that's,
fine.
Bud'll have to,
The precedent has been set with the first section, he hasn't done anything different. And the precedent has also been set with other local neighborhoods such as Mountain View Drive and Champlain Country Club Estate, the Country Club Estates, roads like that. They're very similar developments and similar amount of houses. And I think Alan's done well to state the case that we're not just a neighborhood with 3 houses now. We've grown and we are now more than paying our fair share, double, triple even, to have a road pavement. When you take this section over, it'll have a fresh coat of pavement. You haven't touched the other section for 20 years. You're probably not gonna have to touch this section for 20 years, so literally there's hardly any cost you're incurring as a town, and you're getting plenty of benefit from our taxes.
yeah, I have no problem with this.
Yeah.
And I cannot, like I said, I can't say how deep it is, so that's why I bring that up. And I will tell you, 12 to 15 is about the lifespan of the top coats.
You get almost 18.
Some you can get, some you can get longer, depends on the traffic and stuff, but in the higher areas, 12 to 15, we've got some now that are 12 years, and because of the traffic and everything, they are breaking apart, and it depends on the subbase. Up there, with a good subbase, that's the strength of your road, it's not the asphalt, it's what's underneath it.
Because the second part, which is only the subbase, is actually held up really well.
Well, even that, the asphalt, there's very little strength in the asphalt,
Right.
it's all in the base. Asphalt keeps the water off.
Well,
That second portion is looking a little bit better than the first, and it doesn't have the top coat.
Yeah.
But the first section held up very well to even all the additional construction traffic, especially on the steep hill, which a lot of those roll, and it did not.
Yeah.
So,
Any other questions, Steve?
Just, can you help me, we've got a whole bunch of numbers that reference the number of the homes. How many are gonna be up in that project when it's completed? How many homes?
29.
29?
Yep, correct.
Okay, thanks.
So if you wanna get to $740,000, it's just simple math. It's taking the 29 homes times 420, whatever you wanna do, 25,000, divide it by 100, get your grand list, multiply it times the 2022 tax rate, okay? And pretty much, you're gonna end up coming out with what that total is. It's gonna be a certain number for that, and then you multiply it times 30 years. So, and I figured it at 20, what is it? What did I say, 24,000 something?
Cody?
I'm good with it.
Earl?
well, it's gonna be hard to say no next time. Cause every development's in the same situation there from a tax generation standpoint, that, you know, it's just
Yeah,
how much, but.
My comment to that will be, this select board needs to work with the development review board, and any new development and any new road that is even being thought of with some desire for the select board to take it over, for the town to take it over, is they come to the select board then to get some commitment, even though it may take 10 years and the next select board in 10 years says no, at least on the record, the current select board has said, if it's done properly, we will take it over. And that way, there is some, because now that is not on record for a lot of these developments. And the other ones that come in that the roads don't meet the standards, that's to me very easy to say no. And I'm just one, but it doesn't meet the standard, I don't have an interest in it, taking it over.
No, definitely, if it doesn't meet the standards, we can't do it, because we'd have to invest money, taxpayers' money into improving the road.
Right. Just a second, I'm letting the board go through right now.
So, you know, but I mean, we're gonna end up having to take some of these roads over anyways in the future, right? I don't, see it as a big deal, but, their taxes will be going up.
Taxes and property values always go up, so.
It won't go up related to us taking it over. But I already, Jim verified is that they aren't getting a break.
Okay, Jim did verify
I
it there.
had that conversation.
It's kinda odd that one does. And
Then, there's a lot we
That's
can talk
really
about,
odd,
yes.
but, yeah, because if you do a reappraisal now that you're on a town road, you're gonna get an increase just from that, but, you know, I can understand why you wanna have a town road, you know, have it the town to plow, it's something less for you to worry about.
Tom does a good job of doing what they do too.
Yeah.
Highway guys.
Nicole?
I'm okay with it. My biggest hesitation would be that stormwater permit, making sure that we're,
That's right.
the town's interest is in the, you know, due to the other stormwater permit issues we've had with developments, is making sure that that's where it needs to be.
So,
Well, I'm willing to make a motion that we will take we would take the road over with conditions. One thing, the developer has to do the top coat, has to pay for all the costs to check the A76 standards, has to pay any legal costs the town incurs in order to have this road properly recorded here in the town clerk's office. Is there any other conditions that?
Stormwater.
Okay, that's a big one. The stormwater permit has to be in place and it has to be so that the town doesn't get liability in the future for it.
Should we be looking at the stormwater issue first before we agree to take over that last portion of the road?
It's part of the conditions, Steve.
it would be contingent, so until we saw the paperwork and said we're okay, we would not take it over. I'm comfortable with that.
That's all fair. That's all fair statements.
I'm comfortable, but that's, so your motion, subject to developer putting on the top coat of asphalt. Cover the cost for a core to determine meeting the A76 standards.
Yeah.
Legal costs.
Legal costs.
Town legal costs.
Town legal costs.
And town being satisfied with the conditions of the stormwater permit.
Yes.
Okay?
And we would have to employ our engineer to look at that?
I think our conversation with the state stormwater.
Yeah, we'd have to see what their current status is, because it could be.
If they're part of that new change, then that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can check that status out.
But we're talking about sharing expenses. If we found out that we had to do some extra homework to satisfy the stormwater permit or surrounding issues, that's gonna have to be paid by whom?
Okay, we can put that into that motion.
I think if, my recommendation be if we find out there's an issue with the stormwater, we would invite Al and anybody else that wanted to come in and discuss that.
Chances are the new permit has not been issued yet. They're probably still working on that. And then when it is issued, then we would have probably the green light to say, okay, it's okay, but we'll take over ownership of the road, so we're going to be responsible for paying a portion of whatever the total acreage of the road equals when you do that renewal of the permit every year, and those renewal fees are going to be fairly significant.
What do you mean by fairly significant?
Probably twice or three times what they are now.
We got it down
How much
now.
is it?
15,000.
15,000?
Yeah.
But that's,
The total, that would be total, and then.
we'll find that information out, what is the, yes. So that's for the four conditions.
It's a giant money grab, but.
Sure.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Motion been made in second, that the town would take over that second portion of the road, subject to the four conditions that we talked about. Any further discussion?
Stormwater permit.
Stormwater permit.
Legal costs, town legal costs, cost of the core, top coat, and the stormwater permit. Any other discussion? Hearing none? All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for all your hard work.
There's, you could, someone start chasing that stormwater from your perspective, and we will make some phone calls from our perspective.
I don't know.
What's that?
We're gonna make sure it's all chased.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Have a good evening.
Around for that.
All right, Harold. And thank you that, it's nice to know TAC is also interested in this whole detour going on.
What's that?
Thank you
It's nice
for
to know
coming.
TAC is interested in this whole detour going on too. Good night.
Yeah, we
Have a
had
good
like
evening.
good discussions on that. If we had a second or whatever, to make copies of this. This is the latest and greatest. It's out, so the board can see what's happening with them. TAC has been very involved
Welcome to have a seat too if you want
in
to.
this project that's going on in the village. And not your guys' fault, but we were left completely out of this whole thing. And we were told that you guys agreed, and the village agreed, and the state was agreed, and it was a done deal. And we didn't like that. But that's, that's just the way that their representative told us.
Your point is well taken, because I think the town should have been involved in
Absolutely.
up front too, because.
Absolutely. We, on the TAC board, we have some very, very intelligent, well knowledgeable people that are from different communities that know what's going on and everything. And not to go on to that project a whole lot, my suggestion was at our last TAC meeting we had last week that stop signs and that much traffic don't work. What I find work is Highgate is actually got it on the Macy Road, the portable stoplights, which would make it safe for everybody. But what Route 15, which I travel probably at least twice a month up through Johnson that way, they're doing that whole section of road up through there. They have them all the way up through. Stoplight goes off, you stand there until the stoplight comes on, and then you go. And it was in Montgomery when they did 2 bridges up there, they had the stoplights.
Yep.
And they really work. And it's nothing to the town because you guys, are not involved in it or whatever. But not to belittle the state, but the engineers that design traffic for them know about as much tractor trailer driving as what my 8-year-old granddaughter does. So,
Now you've just given me another thought, because we never gave any approval. We found out it was getting closed, and then we started saying, we gotta do some things, and we gotta get involved, and we gotta ask questions, and we've been doing that. Now my first thought is, we ought to close it day one and not have any demolition take place, because if it all falls apart on day one, it'd be really terrible if they cut out all those sections and then we couldn't use it anyway.
You raise a good point, Mr. Chair, because the lady that sat there the other night talked about, we had all kinds of people we had an enormous meeting with a gazillion people. Come to find out, we didn't.
No.
She said, oh, well, guess we didn't.
The Swanton community.
Yeah, Swanton community. I said, how many is that? She said, well, it's another one of those, or it's a lot, which means nothing to me.
And
So we have not given our approval.
Right.
So for them to tell you that, that's not true.
we asked, and of course, I'm the chairman of the TAC, been there for way too long.
She said she was gonna have other meetings.
No, because that was brought up at a regional planning meeting, which had all the communities in Franklin and Grand Isle County there. And that was brought up by the people in the islands and the people in Highgate and Franklin. Is there gonna be a meeting before you start this project?
I think
And the answer was no.
We're talking about the one
It's a done deal, no meetings.
Other than what the village did the other night, the meetings the state's gonna do is for the follow-on for the bridge replacement, not the closure.
Right.
And not to, and you guys might already know this, but I was made aware last week at our TAC meeting that this may not be a replacement.
Oh, they don't even know yet. They don't, they went
checking
through
out.
and
Right.
they're gonna take a look and whether it's
They
just
need
a
to
neck,
rehab
whether,
it.
Yes.
More, yeah.
But anyways, so we had a meeting in our May meeting. This Ian Anderson, who is a concrete and blacktop materials manager, gave a presentation at our meeting about blacktop and how it's put on and what you're getting per, what you're paying for and how it's put on and the underlay. He said and he said that he's more than willing to come and, like you or Kevin or whatever, and bring you what the new 2024, this is what they're saying now. He says where blacktop people make their money is they'll come in here and say, one blacktop guy says, I'll do it for $80 a ton. This guy over here says, I'll do it for $75 a ton. He's cutting your material, what's in it, and what he's putting down underneath it. He said, the new thing is now you do not corn roll or just put the spray down. You gotta have interchanging nozzles that completely shoot over the top of each other and lay a flat thing down. He said, and they find that that's where they cut the cost because that tack that they put on is what's expensive. He said, and also when you ask for a bid, ask them what the material is that you're gonna get. And in this manual, we'll tell you what you should expect to get for, okay, you got a lot of heavy traffic, this is the material we're gonna give you. And they'll give you there's a spec number for it.
Yep.
And if there's a top coat, this is what you're gonna get. And he said, and test it. Make sure they're giving you what they said that they're giving you.
We just got this handout, I think I've seen it before, I don't know if you have, Harold, but it shows the project Swanton Village, BF something, Bridge 6, and it said.
On the back side or front side?
The back side, so
Back
rehab,
side. Yeah,
so rehab of the bridge.
yeah. Yeah, the
I
rehab.
don't know what the date on this was, but.
What is showing on here now is what they're gonna do in July. That's what that is
That's
on
what
here
that
for.
means, okay.
Yes. And so this is, the state is taking away some of our power that we had at TAC. We used to take in all the communities, and like if I came here and you gentlemen and ladies said, this road needs some attention, or this needs to be done, this is unsafe, like last time on Woods Hill or whatever, we would go back and we would score that. And then that would go back to the state, and when they did their thing, whatever, our recommendation had a percentage of that, and it was quite high. Well, the state decided that they didn't want us doing that anymore. I guess we were making too much noise up here or whatever, because they took that power away from us. But we have it as TAC. Let that go by. We still are very vocal. We have a state guy there at every one of our meetings, and we ask for stuff. I asked for the accident stuff, or if they didn't want to send it to me, to send it to you guys for Woods Hill. Did you ever get it?
No,
Only the stuff you
just the
got,
stuff
right?
that I had got.
It's so they're kind of ignoring us a little bit, but we still make a lot of noise, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but they know we're there.
It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. So some updates. So we got a rail trail in Sheldon. They're working with the landowners up there where the one in St. Albans and ours join.
Let's just go ahead and get LVRT.
There's going to be something built there that for portlets that are undercover, blah, 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 a whole bunch of stuff is going to be there. But they're working with, and it's going to be, my understanding, at the casino in that area, because that's where the best land is. Get away from Bordeaux.
Yeah.
And for their fertilizer stuff, so that's where they're thinking that's going to be. So that's in the works, and it was brought to all the communities that are on TAC and everything to go out. Well, what you guys are doing over here, at the beginning, it's over here, so everybody knows that that's going on now. But I asked them again about 78 from the bridge to here. Well, there was a definite answer when they were gonna do that. It was supposed to be, I thought the number of, because I'm getting old and I don't remember, but I thought it was 29. Well, now they're not sure.
It used to be 25.
Yeah, because they're still working with landowners for right-of-ways out through there. And
When you say landowners, are you talking private or federal?
I don't know. They didn't tell us. They just said that they're working on right-of-ways.
Yeah, I think it's both.
Yeah.
I think because of the refuge, and then there's some other private landowners where they're, yeah.
But I keep telling them, and Earl, I'm sure you remember, and I know Steve, you do, and I know Brian probably does. We were 35 years getting the bridge, so we're only 25 years in, so we're
The bridge went
good.
from 12 million to 52.
Yeah. So we're
Well,
still
and now
good
that
with
they
that.
run the asphalt across there anyway, it's gonna be a while.
Right, but we're still concerned about some of these things that you see that are on here, and this bridge is supposed to be closed. The first initial thing, and maybe, gentlemen, maybe I don't remember it, but I thought it was supposed to be like July 20th or something in that neighborhood.
July 8th.
It's July 8th now.
That's the one where, that's the date we're hearing. Hasn't
And-
changed yet.
And at that same time, on July 8th, there was something else that's gonna close. Oh, the one in Fairfield's closing. At the same time.
What
And,
bridge is that here?
the one right there by, used to be the store right there in Fairfield Center.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Where it crosses?
You know how that-
Yeah,
Fairfield Bridge number 6, I guess they have a bridge 6 too.
yeah. So, and they're in worse shape, I think, is what we are, because they don't know how all that traffic going to Chester Arthur Road, which we're concerned over. That bridge down by Magnum Farm down there is a one-lane bridge.
Yeah, it's like dirt road too.
It's dirt road. So,
Well, I mean, what can you do?
what can you do? They gotta fix the road,
They
you gotta
gotta
fix the bridge
Yeah.
and everything. This, and I probably shouldn't have really spoken a whole lot about this, but I just think that the traffic design is completely, they needed a little more input on that traffic design. You know, I've driven through here through the Sounds Co-op, going to Messina to get wood pellets with a tractor trailer. It ain't no fun to start with, and it's gonna be even worse once it's here. And I would love to see, you know, that, and TAC would too, to see that maybe you could pressure them to make sure that all the traffic that's gonna go south, goes south. And don't come into your community again. You're gonna get the blame, because they're traveling on your roads.
Yep, it's gonna be ugly.
And, but I don't know what you can change on it now. But when I suggested the other night that they do the stoplights, they said, nope, that wasn't gonna happen because it's $1,700 a week to rent them. But one life is probably worth $1,700.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, if the trucks are struggling to turn those corners and people don't wanna put, and you got all that extra traffic, it isn't like it, Beebe Road now, it ain't such a big deal because more likely ain't gonna be a car coming, you can get in there.
Yeah.
But once it starts diverting that track.
The tractor trailers is what's gonna kill you guys.
Yeah, it's gonna, you know.
And we know, I don't remember, Brian, do you remember how many a day we have them coming through here? It's phenomenal.
1,580 trucks a day.
Right.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Was that a day or a week?
That was a day.
That was a day, because it was 11,000 or so.
Vehicles.
total,
We
yeah.
were 15% of the total.
Yeah.
I think it came out to 1,580 trucks a day. That's a lot,
That's a lot.
significant.
And so that was our concern way back in April, but we were told that it was a done deal. And the people in the islands, of course, they're screaming because it's right in the middle of their busy season.
I know.
And all the bicycles on the road,
Yeah.
trying to put the traffic down through there.
No,
And they understand we gotta do it.
You don't want to put
Especially if their
bike on
drawbridge
the
stops working again, that would be a hot
Oh,
mess.
yeah, tell me all about it, I was up there.
I think they got,
now, they won't
open it
right
No.
The bridge? It won't, it wouldn't open on Saturday.
It would open, it wouldn't close.
No,
they
no.
got it open.
It wouldn't
No,
close.
Saturday, it wouldn't open. They had the problem before where it wouldn't close. This Saturday, you can read about it, it wouldn't open, and now they gotta get someone in there to figure out the controls. Yeah,
Why the hell did they let the traffic go through then if they couldn't open it?
This was Saturday.
I don't know, it was a car came by me and said they can't close the bridge.
Yeah,
And I had to turn
that
around
happened
and drive all the way back.
that happened a while, anyway,
One of the guys that runs the bridge, I used to work with at the state, and he told me that after it was brand new, when it was brand new, and what was that? I thought it was 37 million, but somebody told me it was closer to 60 million. They had to have a bar when it was brand new to release something so the bridge would close. A brand new. So that's pretty disgusting. But I, as TAC, I want you guys to know that we really look out heavily for this corner of us.
So keep making noise, Harold, because that's important. I'm serious. That's very important.
And I'm not the only one, like I said, you know, the ones that we have that are close towns around us all agree that we need to, safety issues, and we need to know the safety issues. If you guys have something that you want us to, Kyle's great at, you know, getting information, having them up here for us or whatever. And I know Brian, he knows everybody down there too, but sometimes it's good to have a second person, and we write letters, sending them, telling them that it's not just Swanton that's complaining. We've got Highgate, Franklin, Enosburg, Fairfield, all the islands, we're all complaining. And sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't.
Okay.
But
Just from my understanding, how long were they gonna close the bridge this time, just for the minor repairs? Was it?
Up to 4 weeks, is my
4
understanding.
weeks, and they're hoping it'll be sooner. But,
And there'll be no pedestrian?
I don't believe there'll be any pedestrian, because they wouldn't want anybody in the construction zone.
Yeah. Yeah, I live on a bike route, and so does, you know, and to see 100 bikes on a Saturday and Sunday is nothing.
right.
Yeah. And they have to get to the rail trail from there, you're gonna have to go down Suicide Lane,
Yeah.
South River Street and Beatty Road to get there.
And it's not,
Very dangerous.
yeah, maybe when they first close it, I'll have a meeting at first week at they have it. Are they gonna have regulars, the boards?
They're gonna have,
I forget how many, a lot of
11
electronic.
of the big boards up in various places.
But they
And
should,
then speed signs too.
right, they should be putting them up, so people can be aware
Yeah,
of what's
I think
happening.
they'd be starting pretty soon, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, because today's the 17th, and it's
Right.
the 8th, that ain't much far away. You're right, because normally you do see them
right.
way ahead of them.
Oh my God, yes,
Yeah.
traveling around, I see them, I mean, good God, they've got signs up in Enosburg already that the bridge in Fairfield's gonna be closed. And they've been up for a week, you know, the message boards.
I don't know if there's a problem here because the village owns the bridge, and so the state is kind of doing it for them, because the village doesn't have the capacity to maintain that bridge. It should be a state bridge to start with.
It's a class one.
Yeah,
And it's like when they do the paving will do it so many times.
yeah.
But and you guys probably know more about this than I do, but what I hear is that the village is actually footing the bill to fix it, right?
Yeah.
Or a portion of it.
They have a cost share, they have to.
2.5%, they're gonna pay 2.5%.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
That's still.
It's still a lot of money. I mean, if it's $10 million when they get done, that's a sizable amount of money for the village residents.
it's really too bad that the bridge needs to be fixed. We all know that.
Yeah.
Good God.
And I'm not sure that cost percentage pertains to this repair.
I believe it does.
But yeah, we'd have to get
Yeah,
the.
but that may not, but
They were, for the bridge replacement, they were throwing out, depending
bridge
on what type of
replacement,
repair they do, there's.
Yeah, I think the village is gonna pay this and the most of this
Right.
repair.
Because there's issues with just over the years, they aren't even lubricating the rollers under there and stuff, but it's their bridge to do that. But they don't have the equipment, they don't have the expertise, but,
It makes no sense.
you know, it's, the state divested themselves of a lot of this stuff, and it's coming back to bite people.
And I'm still on them big time about the southbound bridge and the northbound bridge on the interstate.
Yep.
I said, that bridge was built in 62, 63, maybe in that area, and it's never been touched.
Southbound bridge for over Woods Hill is looking kind of rough
Oh, yeah.
too.
And nobody can give me an answer why almost every bridge that I travel up and down 89, and I travel down 91 from Vernon, I've been to Massachusetts border this week, or last week, and all the way back to Newport on 91. Every one of them bridges have been fixed somewhere along the way. These two bridges here have never been touched. Nobody can say why. And as a community, them are our bridges, them are our livelihood of people coming in, and nobody can say why they refuse to, other than the fact they're over the river.
I would think TAC could get hold of the inspection records and bring in a bridge inspector if they needed to.
They inspect them, and the rolls are gone under them bridges. I've been under them bridges. The rolls are gone. There's no more movement in them. That's why. But we fixed them. You know, I've been on that bridge fixing it. The rebar is coming up to them. The concrete is gone. The rebars have rotted off. So it's a safety hazard, and hopefully it won't be one of our children or one of our grandchildren or one of our family members that when the bridge decides to fall into the river that's on it. But and they tell me, I guess you would know this, Brian, because it's an interstate, it's federal versus state.
Yeah, it's a state share and a fed share, but I would recommend, and we got reps who could get the inspection report. I think that's.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what's going on.
Yeah.
Any other concerns that you guys have on roads that you want me to bring before the TAC?
Don't dare to bring any more, we got so many already.
No, but it's nice to, like Woods Hill, I mean, not Woods Hill, but 207, and they're still, Highgate is really upset about where it comes off the Bruce Hill Road, where it's falling down into the bank, over the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time before a truck goes down over that bank, because when you hit it, it goes. If you're half asleep or something, you're gonna be down over the bank.
Yeah. What about your people in Franklin? That 120 through the middle of town, Lake Road, is a crying shame.
We have finally made enough noise on that it's in. The designers are figuring out.
There's no reason for that road to be that way. It is bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
And one other thing, they're in design, or they're in consultation right now on exit 19, Fairfax Road and Sash, where the St. Albans, where the stoplights are.
Yeah.
They finally decided that isn't gonna be a 2-lane roundabout, it's gonna be a 1-lane roundabout.
Them 2 lanes are killers.
Yeah, but
I've been into it.
they are going to make a roundabout there. Just a matter- With 1 lane. But at least the traffic will keep moving.
Yeah.
And it's better than what it is now. I've seen them underneath the interstate, trying to get off.
Yeah.
And then people from Swanton, there again, there's no such thing as a zipper effect, because people don't do that zipper effect. Well, one goes, the other goes, the other goes, one, the other goes. They'll cut you off at the knees if you're not paying attention. But, so that's in the works.
Okay.
That's it, to get that done. But in the meantime, if you hear something, send me a text, have Brian send me a text, or give me a call, you guys.
July 8th, we might be calling you.
Yep. Yep, it's,
It'll be too late then.
Yeah,
right.
I know.
But I'm glad that somebody has, a truck driver, brought it to your attention.
Yes,
because
that's why I
it's
wanted
been-
to bring it up.
It's been at me ever
Yeah.
since, because being a truck driver and coming off in this way with just a plow truck,
Yeah, all right.
If somebody's in that, you can't make the turn.
Thank you.
Harold.
Appreciate your time and,
Appreciate yours.
Yep, thank you very much.
okay, we'll keep giving them, let them know that we're still there. Somebody will be back after they're happy.
Very good.
Good
Have a
night.
good one, Harold. Old Town Business, LVRT update, supposed to get the final paperwork last Friday. It arrived at 3:18 this afternoon, so I didn't get a chance to open it up and spend much time on it. Tentative date to go out to bid is 17 July, 3-week bid period. So it's not gonna get awarded till about mid-August. Want to get the concrete and the asphalt in hopefully before mid-November. State projects, it's interesting, a lot of the state projects, they actually have to have that stuff done by 15 October, but because this is a municipal project, they've got a little bit of leeway, so they will work with us on that as long as the weather's appropriate. But, you know, in the last few years, they've been getting stuff done late October, early November, so more to follow on that. We have to do some advertising in one newspaper, so when I get the information, I'll get with you so we can get it advertised. They will put out on their state sites the advertisement as well, but our requirement is to get it into one newspaper, so we will follow that, and I'll get more detail in the next couple weeks on this.
Just a question on that.
Yes.
If you can't get a contractor to get it done by that time, or is that gonna be part of the
It would
bid?
it would follow into the spring.
Yeah.
Something that's
So you're
weather
not-
dependent. I mean, we're not gonna put asphalt down if it's 20 degrees out. We'll wait until
But
spring.
what I'm saying is, are you gonna put the bid out saying we wanna get this done by that certain date?
It'll be in the bid package of the time frame, yes.
So people might not bid on it because they know they can't get it done in time, then that's a possibility. Cause you're
If
sure,
they
you got a
can't-
short
they-
window there.
What I said was, if they can't get it done this fall, they can finish it next spring.
Right.
Yes.
So it's not
The
gonna be-
intent is to get all the asphalt and concrete, but those are weather dependent. Anyway, so yes, that'll be in there. And this is one you have to be pre-qualified with the state even to bid on it.
Oh,
So someone
so
has
that's gonna
approached
limit
me
it.
regarding
Yeah,
it.
it's
So,
gonna
but it's
limit
gonna be
it.
people who are also familiar with this whole process, so. One or two have approached me about possibly bidding, and I said, you gotta get pre-qualified, because this has all kinds of paperwork that needs to be done.
Yeah, that's why it costs so much and
Yes.
takes so long to get done.
Yes.
And it probably, a local contractor probably could have done a better job.
We would have already had the ribbon cut in it, Earl, if we'd just been given that money. But that's what happens when it's federal money involved.
Yep.
All right, surplus land update. That's not me, right? That's
Right, I just, shortly, well, the same day that the superintendent of schools and Brian Rowell came in and I signed that paper, I sent in the information to Mark Day saying, let's go ahead and get this started. He wrote me right back, said he'd put it in the queue and he'd start in 2 weeks, so I'd be the end of next week, beginning of the following week. And so that's where it stands for the survey work.
And he's gonna prepare all the Mylars to bring before the development review board.
Yep, okay, yep.
4th Street.
Anything new happening there?
Well, we got the final report, 300 and some odd pages long. And it's been sent to the state, and now we're waiting to hear from them for what they suggest that be done. So that's where it stands.
You're probably gonna have to follow up
Oh,
with them on a regular basis.
Yeah,
to
because
see how
it's the same individual that took us months to hear from the last time.
The final report, because you showed us the test data.
Yeah.
But did the final report have any recommendations from the testing company of what to do to remediate
No,
there?
just to, you know, they had what they found. And then they want to hear from the state what they suggest.
Can you share with us what they found?
It's very technical. I can. I thought I sent it to you.
We added as part of one of our packages. You might have not been at that meeting, so.
Oh, okay. They sent a summary of it, but the actual report is.
I couldn't even pronounce some of the stuff.
Right. Yeah, they found all kinds of stuff. A lot of it naturally occurring, it's not, it's just in the soil, but it's natural, but it's hazardous.
Do they have it electronically?
Yeah.
Could you send that to me, please?
Yeah.
And get it to Steve, I think. And
I'd like to read it as well.
Yeah, me too.
300 pages?
Yeah, that's what I might next time reading.
Okay, Newtown business, no one had anything to add under there? Community and economic development, I think tonight the promote Swanton was a big thing and good discussion. Any other necessary business? Correspondence?
Nothing.
Public comment?
If I may, real quick, putting on my other hat as the Swanton Recreation, I will be traveling to St. Johnsbury on Thursday for the 2024 Vermont Walk and Bike Summit put on by the Agency of Transportation and the Northeastern Vermont Development Association. I'm going as a representative of Swanton Recreation, but also just to learn more about what kind of amenities we can provide and share here in Swanton to make us, a more promotable community on the LVRT. Other things that I'd like to share, we invite the community to join us at Swanton Recreation starting Friday, the 21st at 6 p.m. for the first tournament game in the District 3 8-10 softball tournament. We will be hosting that tournament until the 1st of July. We also have some great programs that we would love to continue to promote. We're starting tennis in the park in Marble Mill on the 8th of July. That will be Mondays until August 12th. There's also going to be a skateboarding clinic with Chill, which is the Burton Foundation, on Thursdays starting the 11th of July going to August 1st. We'll also gearing up for Cornfest, which is on August 10th. There'll also be a Cornfest 5K down the Lamoille Valley Rail Trail, or starting on the Swanton Fit and Healthy down the Lamoille Valley Rail Trail to Wall Farm Road and back. That starts at 1 p.m. If anybody's interested in any more information about those programs, you can find them on our website. We are also really, really excited to welcome back all of our young people for our day camp programs, which start Monday, the 24th, and will go until August 2nd. And then we will partner with MVSD to offer half-day programming for folks that need it August 5th through August 9th. So please feel free to stop in and check out all of the excitement with our young Swantonians.
Nicole?
Our first week we have 65.
Wow.
And then right now, and that's a free week that we're providing with grant funding that we received through the United Way. We're for our July camps, which there's a cost incurred. We're averaging right now around 20 campers, but we have a very healthy amount of teens that are looking to volunteer their time to the program, as well as our counselors that will be returning, some returning and some.
How do those numbers compare to previous years?
Growing.
Good.
Substantially growing.
All right.
Thank you.
Upcoming events, take it away.
School budget vote will be Tuesday, June 18th, 2024. The polls open at 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Villlage Municipal Complex. The town offices will be closed that day. Please go vote for your school budget. Juneteenth is a holiday which happens on Wednesday, June 9th, 2024. Town offices and operations will be closed. The DRB will meet Thursday, June 27th, 2024 at 6 p.m. here in the town offices. There will be a regularly scheduled select board meeting for July 2nd, 2024 at 6 p.m. here in the town offices. Thursday, July 4th is the Independence Day holiday. Town offices and operations will be closed, but please consider joining the 40th Army Band rock band Iron Sights on the Village Green July 3rd from 5 to 6.
Very nice. Executive session. Personnel.
I move that we enter executive session for the select board to receive confidential personnel information for which the premature disclosure of it to the general public would clearly place the select board and others at a substantial disadvantage.
Okay. All those in favor?
Second.
Oops,
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Ron. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
I I move that based on our just made findings, the premature disclosure would place the select board and others as a substantial disadvantage. We now enter executive session.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, state aye.